cooking video. Today we're going to be making Meatball Marinara Subs. First I'm going to show you how to cut a pepper. After you've washed it, cut it in half, like so. Grab the top half of the pepper and rip it off. This will take most of the seeds out of the equation. And then get the stragglers as well from inside. Once you've got rid of the end bits, cut your pepper in half again. And then put the knife to the top of the board, bring the bottom of the knife down and slice. Careful not to cut your fingers. You want to cut them into nice thin strips like so. Now, the reason we use a sharp knife and not a blunt knife is because if you cut yourself with a sharp knife, the wound will heal quicker and it also won't hurt as much. With a blunt knife, it's going to take a lot longer to heal and it's going to hurt really bad. So always make sure that you keep your knife sharp when cooking and when prepping food and such. I've learned the hard way over the years, and I'm sure that's how many people do learn. It's by accidentally hurting themselves with a blunt knife, and then you find out, well, yeah, maybe I should have just sharpened that. It takes 2 seconds to sharpen. If you sharpen before every time you use it, then you'll never have a blunt blade. Keep them to one side, and then you're going to put a little olive oil in the frying pan. Now, I didn't add enough here, so make sure you add enough that's going to stop the meatballs from sticking to the pan, as you'll see later in the video. So, as you see there, I've got onions that I cut earlier. I used about half an onion for this recipe, and a whole pepper. I'm also using mini meatballs, Marks & Spencer's 24 mini meatballs. I feel these are better for subs as you get more meatballs per bite, and it's easier to eat rather than the bigger meatballs. The bigger meatballs will be harder to bite into. And of course you can also make your own meatballs, but I personally can't do them properly. Mine's always fall apart, you see. So, yeah, brown the meatballs. You want it on a medium to high heat. You don't want to cook them all the way through because these go through a lot of cooking process. So you just want to brown them. And here you go. I'm using Lloyd Grossman tomato and basil sauce. This tastes exactly like Meatball Marinara Subs from Subway. If you want to replicate that exactly, I'd recommend you use that. And it's also the right amount of liquid as well. Sometimes, especially if you're cooking for one, you'll find that there's too much sauce. And that's just the right amount for if you're making two subs. And as usual, I'll post the nutritional information at the bottom of the video. So, whilst they're browning, you brown them until not all the way through, don't cook them all the way. But yeah, so the reason I decided to start this channel was mainly because people ask me how I make things all the time. And rather than explaining to them all the time, I can just link them videos. And it also will help yourselves. Some people might struggle to come up with recipe ideas and such. So yes, your meatballs are brown. As you can see here, they're still a little bit pink. But don't worry too much, because they're going to go through vigorous cooking, so get your onions in there. And then add all your peppers as well. And you're going to want to cook them until they start to go soft. You don't want them all the way yet, but until they start to go soft. Because what we want in the end goal is you've got the meatballs, the nice soft veg, the tomato basil sauce, all coming together, and to be able to fit inside the Subway rolls. That's what you want in the end. It'll take you a couple minutes. Again, medium heat on the hob. Not sure what it would be for electric, but just keep cooking it until it goes soft, and then add your sauce in there. And then the other thing for these videos as well, especially if you're cooking and you're on a calorie deficit, it'll help you as well, because I too am on a calorie deficit, and these meals are very delicious, and they're healthy. Until I add the cheese, obviously, but that's just an added bonus. You could any purpose for cooking, really. Just to give you a bit of tips, and as you can see, some of the meatballs are sticking to the pan because I didn't add enough oil. So once they're softened, you're going to add your sauce. Remember, going to cook your sauce for about a minute. It won't take you long, because again, it's going to cook in the air fryer, so don't worry too much about it. You just want to get all the ingredients mixed together here and get the rest of the veg soft, which it will be when it cooks in the sauce. That's me getting every little drop out of the... So yeah, get that all mixed in. As you can see, yeah, meatballs are stuck because I didn't use enough oil. But it's better to have the right amount. You don't want too much either, because then it's bad for you. But you see, we've got a nice soft mixture here. That's exactly what we want. And you have to set that to one side to cool once it's done. Leave to cool, and then we can prepare our bread rolls. So this is us starting the bread. Now, I was going to cut this out of the video because, as you'll see when I open the bread, I use New York Bakery Italian style subs. They taste a lot like Subway, except these ones that I'm using right now, as you'll see, they've gone a bit mouldy, and I realise at some point soon that they are in fact mouldy, and that was it. So I had to go all the way. I went back to Tesco and I got more, because you can't use them. That's a well-known myth. If there's mould on bread, don't eat it. Don't cut the mould off, because it means that the spores have spread through the whole thing. You just can't see them. But yeah, I noticed about here that there's mould on the bottom of the roll, and that's no good. Because I stored them next to the air fryer in an airtight container, but they were next to the air fryer, so moisture got to them, basically. Not good. Anyway, I went back to Tesco and I bought more. But yes, these are New York Bakery style subs. Got Italian herb. They taste exactly like Subway. But yeah, as you can see, the Subway rolls are now perfectly fine. Nice and fresh. Just what you want. So we're going to cut them sideways. Not all the way through, because you want the filling to sit nicely inside, and you don't want it to spill out into your air fryer. So just enough, just like that. That'll be enough. Don't need to cut it any more than that. Just so that it's got a little back, so the meatballs and the filling can sit in there when you put it in the air fryer. And the same with the other one. Then we're going to add our filling in here. And you don't want to put too much filling in. You want it to sit nice in the air fryer. You don't want to overfill it, because then it'll spill in the air fryer and it's not fun to clean up. I maybe added a bit too much in here. I was being optimistic. But as you can see, the mini meatballs, they add just the right amount of bite. The bigger meatballs, I find it's impossible to bite into. And that's not what you want. Yeah, they're a bit too full here. I've been optimistic. But it worked in the end, so I guess it was the right size in the end. We've got our meatball subs there. Now I'm also adding some cheese. Now I know Subway doesn't not normally add cheese to the top of the Subways, but I'm using Pilgrim's Choice Italian and herb. Italian one, garlic and herb cheese. Really goes well with these, actually. It's a nice melty cheese, as you see. I put a handful in a bit on each. Maybe too much. My PT would go a bit mental. But hey ho, it was delicious, and that's all you want at the end of the day. So get them on and put that in the air fryer for about, well, I would say 5 minutes at 180 in the air fryer, but as you can see, these, I put them in for about 8 minutes at 180, and it kind of burnt the top of the cheese, as you'll see in a bit. But it was all right. It heated up the mixture, because the mixture was very cold. By the time I went to Tesco and back, it had gotten a good chance to cool down. And there we go. That is Meatball Marinara Subs. These are, as you can see, yes, the cheese is a bit burnt because I left it in a bit too long, but I would say 5 minutes at 180 would be well and truly enough to reheat and melt the cheese. Just keep an eye on it in the air fryer. You can see inside. And also not quite done yet. I also made, well, the previous day I made a coleslaw. And that so I got a Tesco pre-packaged, pre-cut up, coleslaw mix, and added my own mayonnaise. You just want to add enough mayo to cover everything, and then add 2 tablespoons of curry powder, touch of cinnamon, 2 tablespoons of mango chutney, and loads of raisins. And you know what? It makes a coronation coleslaw. And coronation coleslaw is amazing. That was fantastic. I had it the previous night with chicken flatbreads. So I had some left over. I decided to have it with one of my meatball subs for dinner. And it was a good compliment with the mixture. Tastes fantastic. If you do like these guys, please do like and subscribe for more. I'll be posting a lot more on the channel if you enjoy. Might do some Instagram as well. Completely up to yourselves. But, it's just for people that want to learn how to cook, maybe struggling for ideas. And if you're counting calories, I'll also make it easier for you to do that if you follow these recipes. I put it in the comments, or in the video description, sorry. But here we go. Put that there. And ta-da! Looks fantastic. Thanks for watching, guys. Until next time, cheerio.